Sorry if I seem a little upset today. I honestly can't understand why so many of my people keep complaining. Why don't they trust God? Don't they remember the incredible things He's done for us since we left Egypt? The Red Sea, manna and quail, winning a big battle, and most important thing of all, oh, wait, I forgot you weren't here. You don't even know how we escaped from Egypt. Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you. My people have been captive in Egypt for more than 400 years. And those last years were no picnic. Pharaoh was awful to us. He worked us hard and beat us. It was horrible. God told me to ask Pharaoh to let us go, so we could worship God the right way. But that made Pharaoh even madder and meaner. Finally, God said He would rescue us. First, He sent 9 plagues to Egypt. Horrible things like locusts and frogs and water turning into blood. Gross. But that only happened to the Egyptians, not us. But even then, Pharaoh wouldn't let us go. And God sent one last plague. This plague was really serious. God warned that if Pharaoh didn't let us go, all the firstborn sons of Egypt would die, from Pharaoh's son to the lowest of the Israelites' son. But God said none of our children would be harmed. God said there would be crying all over Egypt as the Egyptians realized their children were dead. But in our houses, it would be quiet. The angel of death would pass right over our houses. You know, as Israelites, we worship God by sacrificing animals to Him. God told me to have each Israelite's family kill the perfect lamb and roast the meat. God said to paint the blood of the lamb on the doors to show we were God's people. The angel of death would pass over our houses with the blood painted on the doors and would spare the children inside. So we did exactly what God said to do, and we painted blood over our doorpost. We prayed for our family. God said that after the angel of death came over Egypt, we would need to be ready to leave in a hurry. We wouldn't have time to pack all our things. There wouldn't even be time to cook a regular meal. He said to eat unleavened bread, which is bread that didn't have time to rise. Normally, bread is squishy and rises. But we didn't have time for that. Our bread was hard and thin. That night felt like the longest one in history. It seemed to last forever. We waited and waited in silence for the angel of death to come over Egypt. Then right at midnight, we heard what sounded like a wind passing over our houses. Then in a distance, we heard a father cry out, and then a mother scream. Soon, it seemed like all of Egypt was filled with crying and screaming. But not in our houses, the Israelites' houses. Not even a dog barked. It was just as God promised. The angel of death passed right over our houses. All of a sudden, an order came from Pharaoh for us to leave Egypt right away. God rescued us from captivity and led us out of Egypt that very night. In fact, that's when we headed to the Red Sea. Remember that? What an incredible rescue. God saved us that night, a night we call the Passover, because the angel of death passed over our houses. God saves us, so trust God. He gives you what you need. He gives you strength, and He saves us.